a sense of capital. Aloha, lads and gents. Welcome back to a new episode of A Sense of Capital Insights Time. Your host of today, as always, is Julian, and I'm very glad to have all of you in, guys. First earnings live stream for this season, for the Q3 earnings season 2025. I hope my share is not making too awkward sounds and you can still enjoy the stream. However, guys, thank you so much for having all of you in. I'm always, as you know, a little bit on time, but I think you're used to it nowadays after, I think, almost 3 years of covering various earnings results. The earnings results we cover today, guys, is nothing else than HIMS and hers, the digital doctor shop, pharmacy and healthcare provider out of the US. But guys, before we jump into the results, because they're already publicated since roughly 20 minutes, a quick disclaimer as always, in the upcoming minutes that will not be financial advice, consultation or whatsoever, and there's no guarantee for correctness of the provided data, which you will hear in the upcoming minutes, hopefully half an hour. We will see. Okay, guys, let's jump into the results, because as I mentioned, they are already live and you can see them here. And what I did, I basically transferred them and the details as well, which have been communicated through the shareholder letter into the well-known Excel sheet. The Excel sheet is here. I will not add any words in regard of what HIMS and hers doing. I already mentioned that in the introduction, and I think nowadays HIMS and hers is way more popular than in the days 1 year ago, 2 years ago, something like this. Yeah, and for sure and 4 years ago. So things have changed. It is, I think, kind of a brand for people out there who are patients, who are customers and clients, and it's a brand for those who are invested, no matter if it's on the long or on the short side. Yeah, and obviously I'm long invested, so guys, make your own decision at the end. Hello, Shailees 4102. Very welcome to the stream and glad to have you in, colleague. Guys, and you can see here the Excel sheet which I have prepared. I already entered all the details which are up to date from this now today publicated results, and we will go through them. Top line growth, bottom line growth, and more product and company specific details. And yeah, at the end I will definitely grant a final verdict in simple traffic light colors: negative red, yellow neutral, and green, which is positive. And yeah, I hope we are all a bit smarter afterwards. Honestly, guys, I didn't check so far the price, how it was developed. My first perspective on this, my first opinion when I entered it, it's neutral to slightly negative, just likely more negative actually, because I mean it's a company, you know, it's a bit suffering under pressure by a large short ratio, I think of currently something like 31%. And yeah, a lot of people making good money when the stock price is getting lower and lower and it's dropping. And so yeah, I assume if there is some kind of wave they can ride, and people might be a little bit concerned and a little bit shaky and sensitive, even the long term, not the short investors but the long investors, yeah, that might of course have a result in a negative price impact. However, let's start with the actual results. You can see them here. These are the results of 2024. Basically Q2, Q3 and Q4, and we have here now Q2, Q3 and Q4 2025. And please set the focus on the actual revenue. And the actual revenue result is, hi Felix Vetter 8467, Nice to see you again as well. First thoughts on the earnings miss. Yeah, I assume in terms of earnings per share. I mean, for me, really first thought, my first glance, first idea was, okay, might have really a negative impact on the stock price, but for me, who is more invested on the mid and long-term perspective and invested because it's, for me, revenue growth investment, and for me profit is not that important in this case. I want to see that they grab market share and they achieve brand awareness, achieve a higher pie of the cake, not only in the US but worldwide. It's not that interesting. For me, a miss on the revenue side in this kind of investment feels always more stressful than on the earnings side. That's my first impression on this. But what you are writing, I feel like the management already announced an upcoming investment cycle. Retail will be disappointed they need to be rich yesterday. Yeah, true. 100% share your opinion and can relate to your words. But yeah, it is how it is, you know. I mean, everyone has his own investment thesis and perspective on it, and it's absolutely fine. You know, there are retail investors, there are other kind of investors, and that is how the world should be designed, I guess. Okay, so what we are talking about is the revenue forecast was 580 million roughly. I honestly wanted to see, and I didn't change this, all these numbers I have already entered in advance, at least my own numbers, my target numbers. I want to see roughly 600 million. 600 million would be, let's say, roughly 50% of the 87 million they developed in the positive from 86 million they developed in the positive from Q2 to Q3 2024. Yeah, so I want to see a raise of roughly 43 million US dollars, a bit more. And yeah, actually they made it very strongly happening. As I mean, I'm definitely convinced by this beat. You can see past year in this quarter they beat the expectations, the forecast by roughly 19 million. Now more or less again by 19 million. And don't forget, this was really the gold rush time. All what we will compare right now is compared and related to this gold rush with GLP-1 and at least the start of it, yeah, and this acceleration process, yeah. So keep this in mind. So if it's, I think it's not surprising if they can't keep really this kind of momentum. You can see here they raised the bar, the revenue bar, Q2 to Q3 2024 by roughly 85 million, which is crazy, yeah. It was really these crazy times where it was not that restricted heavily, the GLP-1 medication products. And so, yeah, that is what you definitely need to consider when we screen these results right now. So we have 599, and as I mentioned, I think that is very, very solid, very solid, almost strong in my opinion. I would put this actually in the positive. Yeah, I mean, my target was 599. Well, let's say neutral. I don't want to be too optimistic, but definitely it's very solid, and I would rate this neutral. And then we have the forecast, and they stated, I think, something between 605 and 625 million for the next quarter. So I used the midpoint of it, which is 650 million US dollars. And you can see, I mean, of course, when you compare the forecast Q3 to Q4 2024, it was up by 87 million. Now it's 35 million roughly. Can't compare this. It's obvious. Yeah, it's not like this big growth party anymore. That is what I expected as well, but still I expected something like 625 million. Yeah, so I mean, of course, that is not really like a scientific calculation behind the 625. I calculated a bit, and that was my target. And a lot of times I'm hitting not right in the middle, but I'm hitting on an okay level on the targets. And so 615 feels for me a bit short. And I mean, look guys, we have now a blend out of something which is positive to neutral in terms of the actual revenue, which is great. But on the forecast level, something which is more like neutral to negative. Yeah, I mean, still some improvement, but maybe not on a level you want to see on this high growth stock, which is HIMS and HERS at the end of the day for most of the people who are out there and screening it. And so I think I will leave a neutral rating here, and I think that is okay. That is, which is the right color? Okay, I think that's the right one. I think that's okay. That's not too much. That's quite fair. Actual results are really absolutely fine. I think absolutely fine. You can see still 54 million, or you can see year on year 49% year on year growth. That is very solid. That is very solid, no doubt. And it shows that they can still grow. But the next jump really to Q4 doesn't seem that strong. Yeah, I mean, if they can provide another beat of 20 million, we would talk about 635 million. Yeah, that would be already more solid, but not crazy. But this is really, I think that's neutral, but with actually a negative tendency, the revenue. But I still keep it neutral. And now we take a look on the earnings per share. So on the bottom line, growth, what is going on with the profit. And you can see forecast was $6 and actual result was $10 and actual result was $6. You see, I wanted to see something like $12. Why? Basically, I mean, I want to see just a slight, at least tiny beat, yeah, with a little bit more comfort zone in it. Not like big beat like last year. I mean, last year it was a beat by 22 cents, but there was one-time tax effect, I think, which took place, yeah, about something like 60 million or whatsoever. So that make a huge difference. So it's hard to compare it to last year's Q3 results. But still, it's for sure a miss. It's a strong miss. Again, I'm invested for it because of the revenue growth story and not because right now, at least on the profit growth story. I think they need this revenue fundament, which must be solid, and then out of it they can really steer through it and adjust the lever of going for more or less profit. However, this quarter, that's for sure negative. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Huge miss. I don't want to lie, no fairy tales about it, and that's how it is. So far, we definitely heading in a neutral but more negative direction for sure. Yeah, I mean, that was already neutral to negative. That is negative, so it's a very dark yellow, I would say. Neutral so far, yeah. Okay, guys, let's go on. And of course, use the chat if you like to go for it. Yes, wait. I will quickly screen the activity there. Thank you very much, guys, for joining for sure and using the chat. You're very welcome as well. You can chat with each other and use this as some kind of room for having some information and experience exchange and opinion exchange. Stanley Nee ask, what will you do also grab tonight? Of course I will. In roughly 1 hour and 30 minutes I will do and go for crap. Yeah, I'm very motivated to go for it actually. It needs to step into the role, into the position which HIMS had in 1 year ago. Yeah, so now crap needs to perform. This is how it should be. They should balance each other out. However, guys, let's go on and check out the more HIMS and HERS business specific numbers. And we have already here transferred the revenue, and now we take care on the revenue, on the subscriber base. Very crucial, very essential number. I mean, that shows how good they are adopting. I mean, we will see they acquire, as you know, Zava, so a European-based platform for more or less similar services like HIMS and HERS. And they will enter Canada, I think, next year, if I'm not mistaken, when GLP-1 restrictions getting down and getting deactivated. So I'm sure then the subscriber base will re-accelerate, but so far doesn't look too appealing. I mean, yes, it's more than in the past, and that's great. I mean, everything else would be catastrophic. But you know, I always compare last quarter year-on-year growth and this quarter year-on-year growth, and you can see last quarter year-on-year growth was 31% roughly, and now we have 22%. Again, keep in mind, we come out of a period, yeah, this 1 year ago. Oh, it's not. It's actually 2024. Yeah, that's a period here where really a lot of new subscribers joined, yeah, because of this GLP-1 stuff, because of strong marketing activities, really like what kind of stuff. So it was really intense, and maybe even the competition was not that strong, yeah. But of course, it was just a very golden period, let's say like this, for HIMS and HERS, and therefore I think 22% is still not that weak, but obviously not as great as it was. Yeah, what we do with it? I mean, let's take a look on the absolute number, maybe how the absolute jumps are. Yeah. So we have from Q4 2024 to Q1. We have, how much is it? 230. It's 130,000 more. Then we have roughly 70,000 more from Q1 to Q2. And now we have 60,000 more. Yeah, so it's definitely getting lower, the annual user, client, subscriber, however you want to title it, growth. Yeah, so I mean, that makes it clear for me. I mean, year-on-year growth is not on the level we are used to, and on the absolute scale not as well. So negative. Again, guys, I will check out later the chat. I'm always working with my notebook and I only see the Excel sheet right now. So when I'm done with this sheet here, I will check all the comments and reply on them for sure, guys. Just stay in line, hold the line, or however you call it. And yeah, for sure, we will go as well through, quickly at least, through the, I'm not sure if till this point in time, the presentation slide deck will be available, but if not, then at least the shareholder letter. Okay, revenue per subscriber. Let's check out what is going on here. More or less on the same level, on the same growth level. Is this correct? I hope my calculation is, yeah, it is correct. Yeah. Okay, this so the subscriber growth is on the same level more or less than the revenue per subscriber growth. You can see again more or less a similar gap to past quarter year on year, but I think what is here a bit better is, I mean, it is on a very high level at least, yeah. So it was jumping around a bit. You can see we come from a quite lower level. Why? Because GLP-1 was not the big thing, before Q3, let's say it like this, in terms of their results. And GLP-1 subscriptions are, from the volume per order, on average higher than a lot of other types of products which can get ordered through HIMS and HERS platform. And so that's the reason why you can see here it was 160, then it went up a bit, 170, but then boom, 196, yeah. So 20% raise roughly. And again, that was not because of upselling or cross-selling. It was more like this GLP-1 products have been launched. And then it went more and more up because GLP-1 products have been getting more, increased their the level of popularity. So more people have been aware of GLP-1 products and have been interested in it. So the demand was increasing, and therefore HIMS and HERS sold more, and therefore revenue per subscriber increased. You can see bam, bam, bam. And then they pushed a lot out in Q1. Basically, maybe you remember the Super Bowl ads and this kind of stuff. A lot of attention in the media, was crazy. And then it went down because of very likely the restriction, yeah, which went live. And now you can see they can re-accelerate, yeah. So it seems like, and that's actually a nice part of the or piece of the puzzle of the story of HIMS. It seems like HIMS can still sell all the products they already sold. So I mean, a lot of doubters, a lot of haters or whatsoever, and it's great to have people who are working or thinking critical about investments. It should be like this. But many of them thought, okay, that's the end for HIMS and Hers, that's the end for sales in terms of weight loss. I mean, it's not like they just selling GLP-1, they have other weight loss products as well, but people are like they are. But even it seems like GLP-1 is still working well. And don't forget, we have a lot of other products and services in the pipeline right now. So that's a nice message. And different to the subscriber base, here I grant a neutral rating because again, it's the second highest one. It's re-accelerating. That is really lovely to see. That makes hope, honestly, guys. And the message behind it is a nice one. I mean, regularly in the past, they always shared their personalized solution share, even though it's not that important anymore, because I think more or less all of their GLP-1, they can sell it because it's personalized. Yeah, I think that's the gray zone. That's this niche, this gap they are using and filling in the regulation. So you can see as well, simultaneously to the development and increasement of the subscribers, but especially of the revenue per subscribers, the personalization share of their products increased as well, and this customization aspect, individualization aspect of the products, of course, is kind of a mode and a protection mechanism and barrier against the competitors, because it's not that easy to shift anymore from HIMS and Hers to another player if they are cheaper, when you get only the personalized solutions and goods from HIMS and Hers. Yeah? So it increased, and all of this is likely driven from GLP-1, and now we have no new numbers, but I assume it's more or less still on the 60% level. I couldn't find anything. Maybe it's in the presentation slide deck. Not the most crucial number, but I will leave it out for now at least. Yeah. Look, so far, I mean, it's in line with the top and bottom line rating, so neutral to negative. Yeah. Nothing different right now. Then we take a look on the gross margin, and we can see gross margin already last quarter decreased by 5% year on year, and now again by 5% year on year. You can see, I mean, again, very heavily GLP-1 driven. GLP-1 products are likely not that strong in terms of their gross margin, and you can see it went down from 83%, down, slightly down. In their peak times where they sold a lot of GLP-1 with 73%, then it increased, went up by to 76%, and now again down by 74%. And look, if it would be like 76%, I would go back to 77%, something like this. It would be fine for me, but that it goes down again another 2 percentage points, that is not acceptable for me, and that is negative. Yeah. But again, I am not in it at the moment for cashing out some profits or getting some dividends or whatsoever. It's not that essential for me, but of course they need to have a certain level of cash available and liquidity, so they can run their business well. Yeah. And I assume that is for sure the case when you check out their portion of net cash at the moment. Okay, now we take a look on the expense side, yeah, on the cost side of the business. We have general administration, and you can see past quarter it went down by year on year by 1%, which is great, and now it went up. It's re-accelerating by 2%. Of course, we want to see it's getting down and not re-accelerating. That is what we want to see in terms of revenue and profit growth and subscriber growth and all of this, but not here. It's costs. So that's not that nice. I mean, and it's back on the level when you see it like 1 year ago, 13%, 13%, 12, 11. Yeah, it was already on 8%. Who knows if there have been some one-time effects or whatsoever, but yeah, it's not great that it's reaccelerating. So that's again for me as well negative. Yeah, easy call for me. Then we have, I think they call it technology and development. I think it's like research and development, R&D, basically. Like for instance, for their MedMatch stuff and their platform, AI, whatever, you name it. Yeah, luckily HIMS is not that crazy AI company. There's enough AI already out there. So it's running independently from the story of AI, at least primarily or most of it. You can see past quarter it went up by 1% and now it's as well accelerating and went up by 2%. Yeah, 7%. You can see compared to the past. Last quarter it was already all-time high with 7%, and it kept it. So I mean we can be happy it's not accelerating and growing to 8%. Yeah, but on the other hand, it's not going down. I want to see it's going down. I mean, yes, it might be an investment. It is an investment very likely, actually. Maybe it's not that heavily negative, but I still would love to see that it's going down, so I grant a negative rating. Yeah. And this is, I'm not sure, is this like operational, like on services? I mean, regularly the third position is something like sales. But here I think it's like operational and services or something like this. I need to check it out. But I think that's the right category. And we can see here past quarter it went down year on year by 1%. Now it went up actually by 1%. So we can see 13%, 14%, 12%, 11, 12 and 13 back on almost all-time high. Again, not nice to see negative. At marketing expense, at the beginning when I was invested first time in this company, like 2.5 years ago, marketing was such a huge topic. It was the most essential topic in this whole story. Yeah? If it was not like Amazon or some other already powerful players out there will join the market and destroy everything. But marketing was such a big story in these days, like GLP-1 was in the past months basically, because a lot of people thought, okay, they're just buying their revenue by spending marketing, and they are marketing money, and they are on budgets, and they are just basically a marketing company. And yes, obviously, I mean, I think it's not a big issue if a company is strong with marketing, if that would just be HIMS, if that would be the case. Yeah? I like that they are strong, and for sure they are strong in terms of marketing. Yeah, I mean, even my girlfriend knows that I'm invested in HIMS and hers, and I'm not sure if she can remember, even though it's only 4 companies I'm invested in, I'm not sure if she can remember all the companies I'm invested in, because simply, yeah, HIMS and hers, you keep it in your mind. If you've seen it, yeah, if you've seen the product design, if you've seen the color code, and the whole appearance of this brand, you keep it in mind. You know, it definitely has some brand identity, and yeah, that's okay. So, however, let's see what is going on. So, past quarter, year on year, it went down by 6%, and now another 6%. So it was at 51%. Actually, it was even higher, and that is nice to see. It's 39%. It's getting down and even lower than past quarter. It was not the lowest one. Q1 was lower, but it is low. It is quite low, and I'm comfortable it's getting even lower, and that's great to see. It shows, at least I assume it shows, that they are competitive even without spending that much anymore, and still can hold their position. Yeah, I mean, yes, subscriber growth is not that convincing, but it is taking place at least, and I'm happy that at least something went down. Yeah, so this one, I mean, I will actually grant it even a positive one. Yeah, because I simply see it's the lowest one or second lowest one. I'm not sure how it was at Q1, but you can really see, I mean, even these days, they are not starting to re-accelerate and spending like heavily. Marketing expense go up to 50% because whatever, they getting a little bit shaky in terms of their mental status as a company, as a management board. And I still think, I assume next one will go down to 38%. It's still 6% down to a year ago compared to 45%. So it is very, very solid. I like it. That's okay for me, absolutely. Even though it's not the most crucial KPI for today. And now let's see what is going on with the operating expenses based on the gap overall. And I mean, it's not a big surprise. I mean, it can't be too crazy low if all the other detailed expense levels are negative, more or less. But you can see past quarter minus 7% year-on-year growth and still minus 1% year-on-year. So it's actually not that bad. You can see we come from the past days, or last year it was 83%, 79%. It was higher. It was for sure higher. 72% is still on the lower end. Yeah, these are the top 3 results they ever have achieved. As I think, as a company, still they are publicly traded at least and available as a stock basically. And yes, so 72% not heavily weak, but it is weak, especially when we take a look on the details, and especially when we see it's re-accelerating. That is what we don't want to see, or I at least, and I can't accept so negative. Yeah, so a lot of red, guys, at least something green and something neutral, but it was not like heavily neutral and heavily green. So far not that good. But let's take a look on the free cash flow. Very essential, very crucial number. Not that easy to manipulate, let's say, or affect, let's say it like this, with some cosmetic accounting activities. Free cash flow speaks a lot of times quite the truth. So yeah, okay. Taking a look on the year-on-year development, I think, is not the right approach. Let's take a look on the absolute numbers, because you can see it went up and down and up and down, and some maybe awkward one-time effects whatsoever. But what we can see here, the highest one among those of the past 7 or 8 quarters was Q3 2024. So actually 1 year ago, with $79.4 million US, and we are still more or less on $79.4 million US. I just used the accurate number this time. It would be actually exactly the same, so there's no year-on-year development at all. Yeah, but at least it's not negative. At least it's not on 50 million whatsoever. It's still quite solid. It's still quite strong. It's way, way stronger than compared to the days before GLP-1 was part of their product and service portfolio. So that looks good. I rated neutral. Could even high. It's not positive. It's not like it's not a bang or whatsoever, and really like pushing it out of any expectations I ever had. But it's okay. It's okay. And I have always high requirements and expectations on the stocks I'm invested in. And at least just fulfilling them is already, from my perspective, positive actually. Yeah. So that convinced me to hold to the company I'm invested in. Now let's check out what is going on with the free cash flow margin. So basically putting the free cash flow in ratio to the accomplished revenue. Yeah, and here again, awkward numbers, very hard to read. But because last quarter it was actually negative, yeah. But this time it's 13.2%, and it's the third largest of the past 8 quarters. You can see 1 year ago it was way, way higher. But yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's re-accelerating, and it's basically in line with the story above about the absolute number of free cash flow, and it's fine for me. And I assume it will go higher as well next quarter. So, or at least stay on this level. That is fine for me. Now let's take a look on the shareholder orientation. In this regard, the stock-based compensation share of revenue. You can see we're talking about roughly $40.2 million in stock-based compensation, and that means roughly 7%, or let's say 6.7% of revenue is stock-based compensation for staff, basically. And I mean, we want to see that it's getting down and down, honestly. But last quarter it went down by roughly 1%. Now it went up by roughly 0.5%. So it's not crazy whatsoever. In terms of HIMS and HERS, we're not talking about large numbers in terms of share-based compensation. I mean, I'm invested as well in SentinelOne, a cybersecurity company out of the US, and I think there we're talking about something like 30%. I mean, it's cybersecurity. It's maybe in this very specific crazy case, yeah. But I just want to show you there's definitely some room for more negative development. 6.7% is not that low, but it is, I think, okay for a company which is still growing quite strongly. And as long as they use the money they keep by this approach in a good way, I'm fine with this. Yeah. So we have 6.7%, but however, it's reaccelerating. It's historically a quite large number. It was already higher, but was already low as well. So, however, reacceleration in a negative direction is for me a very, not a tough, a very straight negative call, basically. Now we take a look on the future, actually, on the forecast, on the full year guidance. They always basically try to address this as well, and I like that they try to be transparent. That is great as a shareholder. And so the full year guidance, it was before $2.350 billion in revenue, and now it's deducted and lowered by 5 million. Yeah, that is not accurate anymore, those percentage year-on-year growth numbers. However, I mean, it is a bit lower. And it is negative. Yeah, so it is negative for sure, because most of the time companies who have kind of a full year guidance or whatsoever, they're not touching it at all, or at least they are improving it, yeah, adjusting it to the upper side, to the positive side, and that is of course adjusting it to the lower side, and that is kind of a clear or negative message. Even if it's just $1 million, I think markets react really negatively on this kind of development, really negatively, and I do it as well. Yes, just 5 million, but not nice to see, and yeah, so negative. And then we have the adjusted EBITDA and former. So recently, last quarter, when they talked about full year guidance, it was roughly 315 million. Wait, I need to check if that's correct, guys. I don't want to do any mistake here. It is 312 million actually. Okay, 312 million is the right one. Is it right? Yeah, 312 million. And before it was 350 million adjusted EBITDA for the full year. So they lowered this as well. So again, negative. Yeah, it makes it easy. Full year guidance for 2025 was scratched a bit, not destroyed, but scratched. And that's definitely not positive and not neutral. It's simply negative. And now we take a look on the full year guidance. And here I think they're just stating, we can check it out together. There's some statement here. Let's take a look. The breadth of opportunities, here it is. You can read it? Yes. The breadth of opportunities available to us is expanding, and paired with a strong balance sheet and our team's track record of execution, we continue to build conviction in our ability to exceed the ambitious 2030 targets we established earlier this year. So they are ambitious. I hope they're not telling this because they already want to warn us, give us a hint that maybe too ambitious. But I think, yes, they are ambitious. and they want to exceed it. That's nice to hear, and they're still going for it. So for me, it sounds like that's in line. It's still in line, and so this, from my point of view, it's not getting improved, but as well not destroyed or decreased somehow. Yeah. Okay, guys. So what we have here, a bunch of stuff basically. I mean, again, we have the top and bottom line growth, which is revenue, again, a dark neutral. We have earnings per share, which is for sure a miss, quite strong miss, so negative. Then we have subscriber and revenue subscriber and all of this, and you can see the red. Of course, red is a very aggressive color, especially this kind of tone, and it's definitely covering the rest of it. Yeah, it's shining through it, but it is actually a lot of red. It's more than 50% red. Just one time a positive rating I have left, and just a few times at least a good number. Free cash flow is not really. It's a good essential and interesting number. Yeah. And nice to see that it's neutral, yeah, but again, not really like convincing numbers. Yeah, there's not really like this, that's a clear positive sign for something or whatsoever. That was not here at all, even though I'm wearing my HIMS 10X chain, yeah, because I made it happen. And luckily, I made it happen because I sold part of it. I'm still heavily convinced by this company. And it's still, I think, my largest or second largest position out of my 4 positions. Okay, but let's say 25% of share of my portfolio. So I'm definitely convinced in this company, and that will not change anything about this. Not anything. It just makes it results in that I more accurately screen and follow this company right now. Yeah, this is just the result. There are other companies out there, like for instance Reddit. I'm always interested in Reddit. I use a lot of Reddit, and that should not be the reason why I invest in a company. But really, I like Reddit somehow, and I sometimes think about maybe I should invest in Reddit, and for sure I would not exchange now HIMS with Reddit. Now doubt as an investor. Not for sure not. But let's see how everything will develop, if they can keep their numbers for now and maybe Q4 somehow surprise or whatsoever. Let's see what will come next year. Every one of us as investors now, crunch time is next year with at-home lab testing, what they have announced, internationalization through Zava, testosterone products, and of course menopause products something for men, testosterone, and for the her section with the menopause products. There's a lot of stuff in the pipeline. They stick to what they have stated. I'm not sure what is going on with liraglutide, with the GLP-1 product. I thought they will announce it or launch it mid this year. Not sure if that happened. I think not, actually. But however, I like they really went on to new islands and expand and diversify what they are doing. And I think they're very strong in it. And I love that they're getting away from this GLP-1 stuff a bit, at least, out of this focus. I hope they can make it happen, because I think then HIMS and Hers will receive the attention they deserve as a company with really like different talents and skills and services and products, and not like a marketing company which is focused on GLP-1, or in the past marketing company which is focused on erectional dysfunctional products and hair loss products or whatsoever. However, guys, really to provide the verdict, sorry, I interrupted myself going through it, but keeping a verdict. So again, top and bottom line growth, neutral to negative, and a lot of red in terms of the company specific numbers. Full year guidance getting touched in a negative direction. I mean, it's negative, it's red for me. It would not be fair to other companies which when I leave a neutral or negative rating, if I would not leave here a negative rating, it is a negative one. I mean, it's my highest conviction in terms of the 4 companies I'm invested in. But like last quarter, unfortunately, I need to leave another a negative verdict. Yeah, it is how it is. But I think, or I try to make things clear. Maybe I'm missing something. We will go in a minute through the shareholder letter or the presentation slide deck. Let's see what will be public first. And I will go through Seeking Alpha and check out what are the first marketing reactions. And I will go through the comment section of the stream and check out what you have left there. What I can tell right now, I didn't screen the prices since the earnings are live, the release is live. I think this results in something like negative 10 to 15%. You never know with HIMS, and you never know what the stock market brings, honestly. But that is my guess. 10 till 15%. 10 till 15%. Yeah. And if it's lower, maybe if it's down by 20% or whatsoever, I don't think that's the case, but who knows. But if that should be the reality, I could even think about buying some additional shares. And if it's neutral or even positive for whatever reason, I'm very happy and just keep holding, you know. But I assume it's down like 10 or 15%, and that would be fine for me. It's not surprisingly, honestly. I mean, after GLP-1 restrictions, it was clear that Q2 and Q3 getting somehow affected by this in a negative direction. And on the other hand, for me at least, it's clear as well, or at least that's my expectations, that from 2026, or let's say especially second half of 2026 and latest 2027 on, all this menopause, testosterone, lab testing, utility stuff, and of course ZAVA, regional expansion, and Canada. I think all of this will definitely provide some tailwind and support for this company. Yeah, but so far negative. Okay, now let's check out what is going on with the comments you have left here. Stock is still up because of the strong user growth. That's also the most important metric for me. Yeah, I'm not sure. So that was stated by Felix Vetter. Actually, I'm not. For me, it was not a strong user growth. I'm not sure. Maybe it was. No, I don't see this strong user growth. I mean, yes, 22%. It's not bad for sure. But I don't think it's crazy strong. Maybe it's this mark of 2.5 million or whatsoever, which they have reached. But for me, it's actually not that strong. Yeah, but okay. It's opinion, and it's everyone has his perspective on it. And I'm happy that the market sees it like this. So Felix Vetter is writing, according to the news, that was also the biggest red flag from the last earnings. Can you do a reaction to the stock price? I will check it out in a moment as soon as I went through the comment section, Charlize. Stanley writes, this is big. HIMS and HERS and Novo Nordisk are in active discussions to make Wegovy injections in Novo Nordisk oral Wegovy when FDA approved available through the HIMS and HERS platform. I'm not sure if this was mentioned in the shareholder letter, or I assume in the earnings call maybe. Yeah, I assume for the stock price it would be huge. I can imagine. For me personally not. Again, this GLP-1 stuff and all of this, it is a big topic, but other companies can sell, I think, actually quite well to GLP-1 and weight loss. I think HIMS and HERS has really further, my setup breaks down, further other advantages, and yeah, it would definitely benefit, but for me not a big game changer. Stanley, you're writing in what? What do you write? In what world is 60% revenue growth negative? Is there a 10 billion plus market cap company with higher revenue growth? And yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. 60% revenue growth. I think we are 49%. Huh? if I'm not wrong, if this number is correct. Wait, we can check quickly the results, and it's 49%. Yeah, it was 60% year-on-year growth maybe. Wait, now it's 49%. Still very good, honestly. Still very good, no doubt about it. And yes, Felix Vetter, you're right. I mean, if that's the right information in terms of Novo Nordisk, at least it really decreases a bit the risk that for additional lawsuits, this kind of stuff. Yeah, but for me, again, it's not a big game changer. I really want to see that HIMS and HERS is getting more independent in terms of GLP-1, like the original routes. They tried to get independent from erectional dysfunctionality and hair growth, hair loss products, and I think they have been on a good path. It's nice that they have the GLP-1. It was a big boost. They utilized it really like professionals. The execution was on another level. I mean that Novo Nordisk and this kind of companies put that strong spotlight on a small company like HIMS and HERS, that shows what this management is capable to do. Yeah, so I have no doubt in this regard, and that is the main reason why I'm invested. This management is oversized already. It's overpowered compared to this company size. If you have that strong management, at least what they have proven in the past, and they go to Europe and they go to Canada and they roll out new products and they use MedMatch AI and whatsoever, I think that's a fundament for so much success in the future. And that is what I'm invested in this story. And as long as the numbers somehow roughly are still on the road, and they're not completely changing direction or whatsoever, and they're sticking to their plan, and I think that is exactly what they are doing. I'm convinced, and it's still my number one conviction, Even though I'm very strongly looking forward to grab, to HIMS and HERS, to Central One results this quarter, this earnings season, which I'm actually a little bit more interested in, because I really didn't expect that much from HIMS and HERS. But yes, I think that's all of this is completely acceptable. Okay. Felix Vetter, what you're writing is, I get your opinion, the numbers aren't beautiful, but they blew away some fears with that earnings report. For me, overall good. Yeah, you might be right, Felix. I mean, maybe I'm too tough, I'm too strict and too accurate on the quantitative results, on the numbers and KPIs, but this is how I try to rate it primarily. I mean, that's the reason why I hold this monologue a moment ago. I mentioned it, that I think that really is completely in line what I'm expecting, what they did. So it's really, for me, in terms of numbers and results, it really counts more 2026, 2027. Because they do what they do, they did what they had to do, they did even things I never would do. I never expected. I was never a big fan of GLP-1, honestly, never. I'm happy this kind of product is existing, of course, and that the status of health of many people out there getting improved, but just for HIMS and HERS, I never liked the story that heavily. The GLP-1. Weight loss in general, I liked it. The pills, this kind of stuff, I liked it. GLP-1 as an injection, I wasn't the biggest fan, but they write it perfectly and executed magnificently. Is that the right word? Let's say they execute it really in almost perfection, and then of course the boomerang comes back somehow, and you can't ride this wave all the time that heavily and strong. And that's everything's fine, Felix Vetter. I am completely sharing your opinion basically, but just this earnings result, those numbers, not maybe the message behind, but the numbers on a quantitative level, I'm not convinced that heavily. But let's see what is going on with the stock price. As I mentioned, I expected something like 10 or 15% down, but it seems like it's not the case because you already mentioned it is positive, and that is great to see actually. I mean, I don't have a lot of cash at the moment, yeah. And so I'm happy I don't need to purchase new shares at the moment. I'm happy with my 1,000 shares I have. I had more in the past, I had less in the past, and I want to stick to those. And let's see how, not only after hours right now, as you can see here, but how tomorrow and in the next weeks the stock market price will develop. I'm not expecting that many news actually. Yes, maybe, as you have already mentioned it in the chat, maybe something in terms of Novo Nordisk getting released, maybe liraglutide. I'm not sure if Felix Vetter, do you know something, or Stanley, or Charlize, do you know something about liraglutide? Liraglutide, how you call it in German likely. Is there some GLP-1 products based on liraglutide they already have launched in the past months this year, or wasn't it the case that they want to launch it in mid of 2025 or something like this? I mean, I have it somewhere in my mind, but I can't remember or make sure what's not the case. Stanley, you mentioned, I mean, year-on-year revenue growth, if they don't miss it, it will be almost 60% year anyway. Yeah, full year. Yeah, 60%. Yeah. Completely with you. Fine. Absolutely fine. Let's check out, guys, together what is going on with Seeking Alpha comments. If there are already some reactions by the market, by the investors on the results. Grant me 10 comments. Let's see. I mean, keep in mind, I can recommend Seeking Alpha, but I already read so many comments of this guy, for instance. I'm not sure what is always the background and the purpose of the comments left by different users. Some users, I think, are like you and me, and some users, sometimes I have the feeling they want to affect the audience in some kind of direction, yeah. So that is what you need to keep in mind when you read now and go through the comments. Unimpressive, but the fools rush in. Okay. Then Jim Quid's reacting, what are you talking about? Get profitable with this kind of growth, and that's unimpressive. The GLP-1 business varies, but there's so much more to this company. Yeah, and 10 people like it. Yeah, and I think these likes already shows a lot of times where really people think about it, what really people think about it. And it is really not the case. Yeah, maybe I share something. Maybe I share quickly something. I always note a bit the history down of this company, the history of doubts, I call it. Yeah, and you can see it here. That is the history of doubts of HIMS and hers, at least in my mind. Maybe I left or missed some details, but at the beginning, people told prescription process is dangerous. Yeah, so like online digital pharmacy and this kind of stuff, and everyone, they selling, it can't be the case that the prescriptions getting provided by the company who will later on sell the drugs and this kind of stuff, okay, then we had this one-hit wonder, again, cheap Viagra stuff, and later hair loss, then no marketing flywheel, no chance of profitability, so they're just buying revenue by marketing, what I've mentioned earlier. And then there was only GLP-1 only focus, so nothing more than GLP-1, HIMS, nothing more. And in between, there was this crazy political discussion in terms of the CEO and co-founder, and to do them in regard of Israel and Palestine, and a lot of hate resulted out of it, that he was very active in this conversation on Twitter. Yeah, and then it was the stock price suffered heavily, and then it was not existing anymore. Then we had this GLP-1 ban, yeah, not that far in the past actually. Then no weight loss sales due, end of semaglutide shortage, that's true. Then the lawsuit of Novo Nordisk, yeah. It's crazy. It is crazy what this kind of company was confronted with, and the management as well, as you can see at 4.1 bullet point, was confronted with kind of doubts and concerns and whatsoever. And I understand it because some people play another side, yeah, and it's right to ask and screen and really testify if company is really doing well or not. I understand it, but yeah, I don't think I need to add any comment here. Then Trump pushed down pharma prices, yeah, pharma product prices. And actually that might be even positive for HIMS and HERS. However, in terms of HIMS and HERS, a lot of people interpret it as a negative one and say, that's bad for HIMS and HERS. And of course, simultaneously, always this basic noise with like there are other competition like Amazon, like Roman and this kind of stuff. Maybe there can be national bans, there is no mode, the product quality in their own pharmaceutical facilities, they actually purchased and acquired more and more to really create some kind of mode. All of this so far, they manage the hurdles, they manage these barriers, they make it happen, all these challenges they removed somehow, or at least still working on it, at least they're not crushed on them. And that shows really what this small company, this engine is capable of, and that's the reason why I'm still convinced, no doubt about it. So the history of doubts at the end leaves something good, and that is conviction. And as long as they at least stick to their game plan. Let's see what is going on with other market reactions. So Game TV, I read a lot of comments already from him. I'm not sure what is his purpose always, but however, let's see what he's stating. Net profit was 11 million down significantly from prior year. Yeah, I think there was a one-time effect again. However, this stuff flies in a bull market, but not in a market sell-off. Yeah, but we are still in a bull market, not in a market sell-off. And even, I mean, almost no small company is flying in a market sell-off. That's very typical for a small cap. Yeah. HIMS is a good company, but way overvalued. In another couple quarters, the year-over-year growth will be down to 20% range. We are still lapping the big growth spurt due to GLP-1. Once the year prior comps are much lower, the year-over-year growth is much lower. The stock needs a breather in the upcoming months. My core issue with HIMS is chum. Why pay those prices for generics when you can sign up for $10 a month for one medical and buy your meds at the next to nothing on Amazon? Yeah, I mean, I don't even have to argue against this, because you can see the results. It is not about why and why not and whatever. Why is not everyone driving Suzuki or whatsoever, or Tata from India? Yeah, why is not everyone driving this kind of cars when you drive from one to A to B? Maybe not Tata, but really like a Hyundai, for instance, yeah, which is a solid and more cheap car compared to the Western OEMs of automobiles, yeah, automotive industry. Yeah. Why is that the case? Okay, I mean, people like some wellness, yeah, some convenience, yeah, this kind of stuff, being comfortable, personalization. HIMS and HERS will collect more and more data of their patients. That's not, I think, 100%. That's not a future. That's not a future story. That's the present. Yeah, that they collect in this data, and honestly, there is no doubt that they can utilize this data. Yeah, sooner or later with lab tests when they launch it. This is not like Amazon next door or a pharmacy whatsoever story. At least the target, the goal, the approach maybe it ends in this. Maybe they will fail. Yeah, I'm as well just a private investor. I'm not even in the US and the consumer of their goods and services. But let me tell you, this kind of stuff, and I think Germany is better structured, I assume, in terms of the infrastructure of the health sector than the US. But even here or in other European countries, there's for sure some potential, yeah, especially when you really add some value, not just about, yeah, you can do this digitally, you don't need to have an appointment and this and that or whatsoever, or you don't need to go to pharmacy, you're getting always delivered. As soon as it's really going into the more and more personalized direction, it's getting more in this lab testing, it's getting more in this really like AI customer and consumer specific direction. I think that can be really a differentiator and game changer. Okay, let's see what's Goodman writing. Revenue machine with great guidance, excellent stock. What is Jordan Gecko? Oh, let's get that short squeeze. Eat your shots. Maybe you check my thumbnail. I'm very proud on this. I'm not a big artist and not a philosopher, not a typical German philosopher. But I'm very proud on my thumbnail, so check it out. Maybe you understand, you get it. It's Turbo Trader. Yeah, he's a very bullish guy. I read a lot from him, and he's very bullish. Will be $57 a share or higher by week's end. Yeah, might be the case. Who knows? Not based on my expectation, but it seems like he's right. I mean, stock price is up. It's actually up. The every product is high quality. Every product is high. Okay, Turbo Trader again. So again, very bullish guy. So this one I assume is a little bit more bearish, and this Turbo Trader is typically a little bit more bullish. So what is he writing? This company has been great investment, owned it for years now, and always have been happy. One of the most challenging years since it's been in the business, and proved it's been able to pivot and make money every single time, weather the storm once again. Yeah, and that is this doubt history regard I mentioned a few minutes ago, completely with him. Solid results, Lang. Okay, nice. So next step will be, I mean, the call is already live since I think half an hour. I'm not even sure if someone is still present at the stream. But I will use, let's say, 5 or 10 minutes maximum to go through the documentation which is left. The documentation deck which is left. So shareholder letter, and maybe if it's already available, the presentation slide deck. So let's go to the browser, it's already open. Let's check out what is going on. Okay, earnings presentation is not live, but shareholder letter, I have it here. You can see it. Let's go through it. Yes, good marketing, good. Good cooperative design. These are all the numbers we already have. We really want to go now to the more interesting information written in letters. Expanding prefix existing. Okay, they reduced 20% GLP-1 treatment plans. Okay. Yeah, I mean, look, still revenue per subscriber is solid and deaccelerating, even though they're reducing the prices. We believe ongoing efforts to verticalize our the pharmacies, basically facilities. Yeah, nice to hear. Okay, new specialties that resonate with both new and existing. We expect new offerings in testosterone, menopause care to unlock. Yeah, I mean, they mentioned with menopause they will reach to $1 billion US dollar revenue per year, which is crazy because I mean her business was always way more smaller than HIMS, and HIMS getting larger as well with testosterone. Alongside proactive manage their health with plans to broaden diagnostic capabilities. This is what I love, and honestly not understand that well, but it makes perfect sense. And I assume every human being can relate to what I'm telling. I mean, we plan to launch comprehensive lab testing capabilities in the near future, which will pave the way the launch of our longevity specialty planned for 2026. And you know, there is this keyword peptides, and you can Google it by yourself, but for sure, yeah, there's some potential left crazy. I mean, longevity is a big topic in this business. Wait, make it a bit larger. Yeah. Okay. Forging relationships across the healthcare ecosystem become a correct. Maybe now we come to Novo Nordisk. Who knows? We expect to continue exploring opportunities to collaborate with partners who see HIMS and HERS as trusted and efficient platform to reach more customers. The creation of leading next-generation therapies, advancements in early diagnostics, and even personalization based on whole genome sequencing. It's too crazy for me, guys. Definitely above my capabilities in terms of brain resources, but is top of focus for potential partnerships. As noted in our earnings release, we are in active discussions with Novo Nordisk to make Wegovy injections and Novo's oral Wegovy, when FDA approved, available through the HIMS and HERS platform advanced. Yeah, that would be nice. I mean, this oral stuff might be really a game changer, and I assume, I mean, someone mentioned here in the chat it might be the case because of the subscriber count, it's still that high, but I think that alone, this message, Novo Nordisk collaboration in the past, when was it, March or April, I think it affected the stock price by 20% one day. I would not give it 5%, honestly, up, even though I'm an investor. In the past, I had double the amount of shares compared to today, but still, I didn't expect this. But I think this is more or less the 7% up, I assume. And yes, maybe people think it's okay numbers, but look, guys, the people who are short for okay numbers, they will not accept that the price raises, I think. Yeah, but who knows? I mean, who was short in the past can be long in the future, so they will shift as well, sides likely. Scaling our presence in international markets, that is always the most interesting business case for me, actually, or investment case. We see international markets as powerful long-term growth lever, representing more than 1 billion annual revenue potential. Through continued investment and strategic M&A, we believe HIMS and HERS can quickly emerge as the world's most trusted consumer health platform, providing direct-to-consumer access to personalized care to more consumers than, let's see, hopefully. Yeah, hopefully. Strategic efforts to make more, 1 billion doesn't sound that much. Okay, however. Strategic efforts to do more for customers. Okay, that's not setting a new gold standard in weight loss. Our US operational footprint now spans more than 700,000 square feet, with additional to come online when they are not even, the facilities they have acquired, they are not even fully in function right now. So still 50% up to go with Ohio. Gold standard, okay. I mean, that is something what I can just put to your heart to take care of it and read it when you have good focus and your mind is open, because there is so much interesting information, I think, included here. Here we have this pharmacy facility stuff. Long-term growth opportunities as we are deep in relationship with existing subscribers and Hispanics. Yeah, man. And what I like is like this hair loss and ED products, especially ED was a little bit more for the younger or 20 or 30 years old people maybe. Yes, I mean, you can use it very well as well. Viagra for 50, I mean, it's popular for this kind of people, but I assume a lot of younger people use it as well. and it was more like this hip, hyped brand, HIMS and hers, and now that they go through GLP-1, they reach a way broader audience in terms of age, and now with testosterone and menopause, they really move to the ones 50 years old, 40, 50 years old, 60 years old, good money, good financials, taking care of longevity, of health, making sure they have another view on this, basically, let's say like this, than younger people, and financially are likely financially stronger and want to spend more on their health conditions. And so that is, I like it very much that they really tackle this audience. And I can already see in my mind that let's say a son who used some skincare product and some ED products for his white lifestyle, he knows that his father has maybe issues with testosterone, with sleep, recovery, whatsoever, and his father is 57 years old, and he tells him, "Father, the name is Norbert. It's a German name, typical German name, Norbert. Norbert, was los? Norbert, there's a product from HIMS, testosterone. Go for it, and you will feel like a young rabbit, collega." Yeah, and end of the story. That is now possible, and of course from the other direction. So whatever, Petra, another popular German name. I'm not sure it's from Germany, but at least a lot of people in Germany, in the past at least, had the name Petra. So not my mother, but whatsoever it was the case. Petra tells her daughter, I'm using menopause products. I had such a great experience with the products. I know you suffer because you're overweighted, or you have problems with your skin, or with your hair, or with your mental health whatsoever. Why not entering the HERS website and go for it? Yeah, and there's back in harmony, back everyone in good shape. So this kind of interaction can now raise with this wider and broader product portfolio, and broader audience in terms of age, of course, and as well regionally. Supporting proactive care through our upcoming lab diagnostic. That is for me the most awkward thing, again, this lab stuff. History or subclass has, I read it one time. This one, should I do it? Not read it by yourself, but I assume pre-cancer diagnostic. Believe in the importance of making access to pre-cancer diagnostic. I mean, that would be crazy. That would be crazy, something like this. But we need to be careful here. That big stuff, that is big words. But I mean, they're not telling they can do it, but they have a belief, let's say, like this. Would be crazy. That would be crazy. Make proactive diagnostic. Maybe this illustration puts it very well together. Preventing testing capabilities, comprehensive whole body lab testing is coming before year end. Way, that's good. Unlocking deeper insights. We plan to help more individuals proactively address concerns before they materialize. Genetic testing, hormone, cancer detection, thyroid health, heart health, metabolic health. Nice. And then partnerships and strategic investments. Our platform can provide an immediate route to market for the newest innovations in diagnostics. Yeah, that shows it very well, and if that is working, crazy. And they're already active in UK. I forgot what is going on with UK. Success in the United States and UK provides a foundation to bring the benefits to our platform to consumers in new markets. Okay, and then we have Zava, and we have Canada. Here's Canada. Nice. More than 1 billion annual revenue opportunity. I still think it's not that large, but okay. And we have the outlook, and then we have a few more financials, but guys, that's it. Let me check the comments section one more time, and then I will check the stock price, and then we are done. And if you like, you can join in less than half an hour to the next call of Grab. Grab is a crazy company. Grab is a crazy company, I think. Same like HIMS is a crazy company. Grab is as well a crazy company. But the difference is Grab is quite expensive company, I assume, but in a crazy high potential market, high potential environment, which is called Southeast Asia. However, let's check out quickly the oh, you see my hair is getting thinner. Oh God, HIMS, come quickly to Germany. help me to make 100x and regrow my hair quickly before everything is lost. What do we got here? So Stanley is writing, short sellers of HIMS are my biggest mystery of stock market. Still don't get it. 80% of companies are absolute trash and they want to short this. It is not even a retail stock despite it is popular now. Institutional ownership is 80% up. Yeah, I don't get it at all too, Stanley. I'm completely with you. I have no clue, but on the other hand, I never did an internship or whatsoever or talked to someone who's a short seller. I have no clue about it at the end, you know. And I mean, I must admit, or at least we must admit, it is very likely that short sellers made a big chunk of money based on HIMS and HERS. So why they did it or whatsoever. And you know, there have been these different short seller reports on HIMS and HERS. I'm not sure if anything of this realized has been realized or was the truth, but I assume they did a good job here, and the rate is still on 30% or more than 30%. So yeah, it may be not our story, and it's awkward why they chose and selected HIMS and HERS, but they did it, and somehow they made good money. We made good money and had great experience, a lot of fun with it. So good for everyone, I assume. Not for everyone, but for many out there, I assume. Okay, guys. So, stock price. Last check of the stock price. Let's see if it's still on roughly 7%. Again, I thought it will drop, but yeah, okay, it's not that high anymore. Let me update it. It's not updated right now. I think it takes just a quick moment. Or was this just, I mean, that's 30 minutes old. Is here another, it seems like it's 3.5% now. 3.5% down. And yeah, 4%. I got this, and I can even imagine if it's getting negative and change direction to the negative side of life tomorrow. But if not, I'm happy as well. Okay, guys. So I mean, that's it for today. Here one more time, the history of doubts. Then I just want to grant you a quick outlook on what is left in terms of the companies I will cover in this earnings season. That was the first today, and I mean, I only cover companies I at least am financially involved and mentally involved and screening and following quite closely, and that's the reason why there are only 3 companies left, because I'm in total invested only in 4 companies. So the next one will be Grab, and you can see it's the 3rd of November. So actually, again, in 20 minutes I will go live. So in 5 minutes, actually I need to be quick. In 5 minutes I think the results will be likely live. Always 1 hour and 10 minutes, most of the time 1 hour and 10 minutes in advance of the earnings call. Then I type it in quickly, open the documents, prepare the call, and then I'm live again in 20 minutes. Then it's already, we are half through the earnings season, because then just new, which will take place on 13th of November, I think next Tuesday. Tuesday? Doesn't make sense. Thursday, next Thursday. I will back as well, and of course Central One. Central One, I'm ready for a surprise. I have high hopes in Central One. every earnings call counts at this company. It's a little bit different to HIMS and HERS. I really want to see they execute now. They need to prove it. I think HIMS and HERS proved it. I want to see ZAVAbunga will prove it, and I'm confident. But we will see. Yeah. However, guys, so we are done. And I hope you enjoyed it. And if that was the case, or it is the case, then feel free to like this stream, to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And you can follow me as well on Instagram, and my name there is A Sense of Capital, basically more or less the same like on YouTube. And guys, again, feel free to join me one more time. A quick disclaimer as always at the end that in the past minutes it was not financial advice, consultation whatsoever, and there was no guarantee for correctness of the provided data. It's your money, make your own decision. Everyone is individual, and you need to live with your decision at the end. And of course, more important than money and stocks and the market and whatever investment market is your health and your social environment. So take care of your physical and mental health. Take care of the people, your beloved ones, your people who are around you, and then I think everything else will be fine at the end, no matter if you have a little bit more or a little bit less money. So that's my message. And yeah, today no HIMS 10x, but maybe next time. It's we are in it for the mid and for the long term perspective. Looking forward talking to you next time, maybe in a few moments. If not, maybe next Thursday, or at ZAVAbunga earnings call in roughly a month, or at Q4 earnings results of HIMS and HERS. Guys, thank you very much for joining. Take care of yourself. Cheers and bye bye. A sense of capital.